What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? This is Cril from Out the Box. I'm back for a special episode. Um, if you guys have been checking out, the posts online, and I got my brother A Level with me as well. But if you've been checking out my posts recently on my website, I made note that I was going to do this show. This show is going to be a special kind of show. It's a tribute show to my brother who recently passed away by the name of Brownsville Ka. We found out about the news that he passed not too long ago. He passed on October 12th. And it was extremely saddening to hear this news and very surprising. And I honestly wasn't sure when I was going to do a show because it just took a lot to process him passing on. It was extremely sudden. But Ka was extremely impactful. He was very inspirational with his music. And if you ever got a chance to meet him, he had a very generous spirit and just an overall good person. So this loss really hit home, and it hit home in such a deep way because not only was I a fan of Ka's music, I also connected with him and interacted with him a number of times. So yeah, man, A Level, it's a pleasure to have you here to share this space with me. Um, I'll let you start out with any words that you would like to share, in regards to this type of show. And I know also on the same note, we also lost someone else recently that was very impactful in the hip hop community, and DJ Clark Kent. So I want to say rest in peace to Ka as well as DJ Clark Kent. But for this show, we're gonna definitely be giving tribute and honor to Brownsville Ka for what he represented as an artist, and for what I knew him to be as a person. So yeah, A Level, man. Any words you want to say to get the show started off?
No, well, just letting everyone know this is A Level the Wiz. We're back. You know, it's unfortunately for this time it's under unfortunate circumstances. But at the same time, it is an honor to come on here and commemorate the memory of the great rapper Ka. You know what I'm saying? As I like to call him, the rapper Ka from Brownsville. Um, I'm not as well versed and well studied in the brother as you are, Cril, but I've come to hear with the last offering that he gave us. You know, really, I'm in a Descendants of Cain area right now, just doing my research and just really just getting into what kind of artist he was, and man, like what a what a gem of a guy that we lost, in his talent. Like you said, he's in the same wavelength of guys like Doom, uh, guys like Dilla, your Rock Marcianos, you know, people that are just one of a kind, one of a kind rappers, excuse me, which you don't really see too often, man. I mean, you see, this industry promotes a lot of copycats, you know what I'm saying? And to see someone that genuine, that unique, that authenticity is hard to come by, and I mean that I was just you was just playing that Firehouse track for me, man, and that's probably one of the hardest joints I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? Like the beat is crazy, and he's just tearing into it. It's just the right kind of vocal, performance, the veracity, the aggression, and just the brilliance and wordplay, all in one. And it's just dope, man.
Yeah, indeed, man, indeed. And I again, I just want to thank you for sharing this space with me, because you were one of the few people that I spoke to on the day that I heard about Kai passing. And I just want to take another time out really to say my sincere condolences to Kai's family and loved
Yeah,
ones. Um, I, I can only imagine what they're going through at this time, or and also how they dealt with the loss. You know, so yeah, my heart goes out to them. But A Level, I have to say, you were one of the few people that I was able to speak to that day, just to hear me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a lot of people that I know personally that understand my love for hip hop, right? Or my love for somebody like Kai. I mean, every time he came out with an album, I would be sending you and my brother Mark in the chat, you know, text about, oh, Kai got a new album, how excited I was, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I want to also shout out my brother Jay Swiss, who actually was the one that kind of broke the news to me. I didn't know that, that he transitioned. And it just, as soon as I heard the news, man, like instantly, not even too long, I went to my bedroom, I fell to my knees, and I started crying. Like that's how much this thing hurt. You know what I'm saying? Ka, to me, you know how I used to always tell you, like, when like MF Doom would drop a record, or he would drop a feature, or even an album, I would be like really, really excited. It gave me this breath of, exciting energy. You know what I'm saying? When it came to hearing that he was releasing new music, or learning about new music. And there was few artists that did that. You know what I'm saying? Doom was one, and then we lost Doom, right? So that void hasn't been filled with Doom. Like I'm still excited about a lot of what hip hop has to offer, but I feel like a part of my love for hip hop, I've lost it. You know what I'm saying? In losing Doom. And then Ka was another artist that was like that. Every time he dropped an album, and he didn't really drop features like that. He would drop an album at least like most of the times it'd be like once a year, but sometimes it'd be like, every 2 years. Whenever it dropped, I was like really excited, because I knew that what I was gonna get in terms of the music was gonna be something really satisfying. It was gonna be high quality lyricism. Um, and I just was always excited about it. So I feel really sad that I won't get to hear, like, like new music from him, in the fashion that he always released it. Um, but I also feel really sad because we lost someone that I had an actual bond with. I don't claim to have the deepest relationship with Ka, but I had some sort of a relationship with him because we communicated a number of times, and he valued me. You know what I'm saying? He 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 saw the value in Out the Box and what I was doing, and he told me that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll share a little bit more insight in terms of, you know, the communication I've had with Kai, and some of the positive interaction I've had a little bit later on in the show. But that was one of the reasons why this news hit so hard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I know there are a lot of people out there that are big fans of Kai as well, big supporters of his music, and I'm like, I'm hearing, I'm looking on Twitter, I'm looking on Instagram, and I'm seeing a lot of the posts that people are making in terms of how they interacted with him or how he impacted them. And a lot of it is exactly what I experienced. You know what I'm saying? So it shows that this brother was not just, he was consistent in his genuineness, in his kindness, in his honor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's beautiful to hear these stories, but it's also like, it's like bittersweet, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, that like he's gone, you know what I mean? He's no longer here in the flesh. But I know that his legacy will live on because he left such a great body of work that years from now, people will continue to experience and be inspired and impacted in a positive way by the music. So I'm great. I'm grateful for that, like highly grateful for that, you know. Um, but yeah, A level. Any other thing you want to share in terms of you know, how you've seen his music impact you or others, so far?
Well, I mean, huh, I mean, in terms of what others have said about him, I mean, you got guys like Alchemist
Hmm.
and Rock Marciano, of which, from my understanding, a lot of his real official debut material came through, Rock Marcy on spitting on a lot of Rock Marcy albums,
Yeah.
particularly Mossberg. Um, and they say their experiences working with him is like it's like he's like a monk in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
he's like a prophet, in comparison to what it is that they do. You know what I mean? He comes out every but so often, but when he drops it hard and he drops it clear and he drops it prolific.
Hmm.
You know that they were inspired by the kind of material that he did. And I mean, for me right now, the dopest thing that I could possibly say about dude is just his latest material, and that's just basically borrowed time. That's those are my joints for him right now, man. I'm in a borrowed time tested testimony. Tested testimony is crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you like you said, you were catching on kind of late to his music, so I understand,
Hmm.
you're still like getting, getting acquainted with his music. A Thief Next to Jesus was his last album, which actually
Hmm.
came out in August. So and I really dissected that album. I listened to that album from beginning to end. And for those that may not be aware, I'm streaming right now on my Out the Box TV channel, but I have another YouTube channel called Out the Box Media that I'm also streaming on right now because I wanted this video to be shown on both channels. But for those that's been following my other YouTube channel, Out the Box Media, I did a lyric breakdown or lyric explanation, based on my observation of his song "Such Devotion," which is off of the the Thief Next to Jesus album that he just came out with. So you can check that video out. I mean, this was just I think I did this last month. You know what I mean? Um, and before, finding out about him transitioning. And then I also did another video where my last video on that channel was album review
Hmm.
of the Thief Next to Jesus. Again, before I found out that he transitioned, right? Before he transitioned, right?
That was literally
So
one of your last posts.
my
Yeah.
last post, and for those that's been checking Out the Box Media out on YouTube, you will see that literally that was the last post because I was supposed to do another video on another review video and another lyric breakdown video, and I didn't do anyone because this news of Ka transitioning, it it threw me completely off. I didn't want to do another video until I did this video because it just didn't feel right, So, shout out to my brother Mark who's checking in. He just commented, thank you, brother. Yeah, man, like I got some more to share in terms of my experience with Ka, so we'll get into that. But what I want to do before I do that, I want to take a moment to share the interview that I did with Ka. I'm not going to share the whole thing, but I want to give you guys a glimpse of that, right? I mean, it's out on Out the Box TV YouTube channel if you've never seen it. Most people who I think are Ka fans have already seen it, but I want to take some time to share that video so you get to hear him in his own words in this interview, and you get to hear some of his music as well. And we're gonna come back, and I'll talk a little bit more. This video, this show, we're giving tribute and honor to Brownsville Ka, one of the greatest MCs and writers that hip hop has ever seen. And I say that proudly. I said it when he was alive, and I will continue to say it because his music has impacted me and so many people in such a way. So let's get into it. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna share some of my interview with Ka that I did. This was back in 2012. I got a chance to interview him in New York City. It was actually at a restaurant right next to the where Fat Beats used to be, right? I got a chance to go upstairs in the restaurant and do an interview with him, and it was such an amazing experience. So yeah, shout out to Paul Brown. He said he was a great producer as well. Absolutely. And we could talk about, you know, Ka's production and how he kind of honed a whole new sound for himself, you know, with the drumless beats and stuff. But yeah, big ups to you, Paul, for saying that. But yeah, let me go into, I'm gonna take a minute to share some of that video for those that have not gotten a chance to check it out yet. All right. So A Level, you might want to mute your mic while we do this. So let me just bring this up. Oops. I got the wrong thing. Let me test that out again. Sorry about that. So yeah, bear with me, folks. I'm gonna pull up the video. I'm using a new stream platform that I haven't used before, so bear with me. That's what kind of why it took a little time to do this to start the show. But we're gonna get it going now.
Brownsville, and it's style, I rep for you, Brooklyn. I rep every block I ever lived on Hull Street, Lafayette, Decatur Street. My life rests in a 45, aim for the head, chest fortified. Sons look for revenge, out of stress, daughters cry. Gotta do it here, can't afford to try. Thought the gutter ended in a Ville, then I saw the sty. They get wet daily, it's alive, nigga, water rides. Slow and steady, win the race.
I mean, my name's Ka, you know what I'm saying? I've been rhyming for over 20 some years, you know what I mean? I've been rhyming a long time. I'm from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Ocean Hill, Brownsville, that's where I was born and raised. Inspired me to rhyme. I heard Lottie Dottie and I said I wanted to do that. And I've been doing it ever since.
I prepare my mind and my body. Job interviews in the street, I apply with a shotty. Jokes heard worse when you find your man's plot of the rob.
I grew up during a raw time, like, you know, it was kind of rough. You know, it was kind of rough back then. You know, I was a kid in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? Through the 80s, I was a teenager, you know? So, you know, I saw in the 70s was dope, and You know, they was shooting up with the methadone clinics and the dope fiends. And then I saw the 80s, you know, when they was, you know, cocaine kind of slid around and they was smoking woos and bones, and then the crack just exploded in the neighborhood, and, you know, it just fucked the whole hood up. You know what I mean? Fucked the hood up for, some people think they was winning because they was hustling, but they was, you know, the hood was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I saw all of that. I saw the death of the crack wars, and, you know, just the rat race. Just, you know, we lost a lot, man, and that shit made me who I am, man. You know, I was dealing with real issues, man, issues as a kid. You know, like shit that I know if I had a seed, I wouldn't want my seed to experience shit like that. You know, so I feel like I'm 100-something years old, man. Real. I feel like I lived a couple lives already, and you know, I really am blessed to be here because, you know, I could easily have not been here. You know, so that just made me who I am. I try to enjoy life now, you know, but I always think about my loss, and, you know, think about the shit that molded me, and, you know, and that's just me. That's Kai, man, you know.
Anywhere else. Niggas better know me, man. I'm coming, word to my mother.
Up against Goliath to bring butter home. I'm David on pavement, sling another stone. Up against Goliath to bring butter home. I'm David on pavement, sling another stone.
The gifted narrator,
Gifted niggas.
gunmetal, great rhymes, your scripts is lavender. Poor my life, but rich in character. Why civilized? Don't make me flip a savage. The proven wizard that move delivered. With tools exhibit the rules are rigid. Reside in the
I started writing, you know, I kind of was escaping from shit. Like, you know, shit was going crazy on the block. Shit was going crazy in the crib. I would go within myself and I would write, you know what I'm saying? So it came from a place of escaping pain. And with that, you know, a lot of the bars I was talking about what was going on, or, you know, going on around me. So it ended up just being mostly just real somber themes and you know, sorrowful shit. So, you know, it just, you know, that's what still motivate me now. Like, you know, I write, when I write, it's not from a happy place. I don't write party shit. I don't write, you know, I write from pain. Like, that shit that inspired me. I feel that's when that's my pocket. I'm the best when I write shit, when shit is going, when I'm going through something. So, you know, that's what it is. That's what it'll always be, you know.
Yo, took a vow of protect the server. All you do now is disrespect and murder. I ask that you not hurt my kids. This is where you work, this is where I live.
It's not uncommon to be chased around by the pole.
Mr. Orpheus, it was very personal, you know, like, you know, I mean, I had dealings with police for years, you know, like, you know, in the hood, they don't treat us right in the hood, like, you know what I mean, it's sad, but, you know, they supposed to be here to protect and serve and all that, and, you know, they do a lot of crab things. Like, I'm not saying all of them is crabs, because I'm not sure, you know, some of them are good dudes that's into it for, you know, they want to do good, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of them, I guess from seeing just everything that they go on is a bad situation, that they just start seeing people as bad people. So it's what it is. But as far as, I didn't want to be on some fuck police shit. That song was done. You know, fuck the cops, fuck the police. That shit was done already. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to come at it with a more of a, why do we have that mentality? Why do we think like that? You know, and, you know, I wanted to write it in a way that was still a song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever want to preach to nobody, because I don't like when people preach to me through music. So I want to make it where you know, sonically I want it to be pleasing. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna try to live on a track where, you know, like, even if you like, you don't even know what my theme is, you might get into it, and then, you know, I'm riding pockets of shit that you just like, I don't care if you hate hip hop, that pocket that's music, you know what I'm saying? So I want to do things like that. So when I'm weaving and sculpting my rhymes, I'm looking for points to bring people in that, you know, that they get undeniable shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I write, and that's where I was at when I didn't just do it on Mr. Orpheus. I try to do it on every track, you know what I'm saying? So.
I was on it all. Welfare, wick, soup lines. Free lunch every day in the summer 2 times. If life's one big road, I need new signs. Save pennies and nickels to run through dimes. Whoever say it don't pay must don't do crimes. Got lots of pre-owned shit when I use nines. Cause fuck that green neck shit, I need true shines. I don't roll deep cause most of my peeps in a whole sleep. I evade rumor, see me G.O. freaks. I'm Suede Puma, BVD gold teeth. A late bloomer, previously sold heat. It's more than just nice rhyme. I'm a product of hard, so a lot of these bars took a lifetime. Gamble with death before I left, said them dice mine. Every measure flooded with treasures you might find. From amazing days and nights exciting, where you get played for playing and learn how to fight by fighting. Every day.
I wonder, like, I'm a purist. Like, to me, hip hop is a beautiful art form that I feel that it's not being respected as such now. Like, you know, it became a, you know, I was having a problem with the times when it was, yo, I want a 16, I want a 16. Like, art is not, you can't just put art in a 16 form. Like, or it was another time when it was like, yo, I ain't even write that rhyme. Like, or, you know, I she spit that just real quick. Like, I was taking offense to all that shit. Like, you know, so I'm like, yo, B, it takes time to sculpt. You know what I mean? Like, Sistine Chapel wasn't done in how fast you could do it. You know what I'm saying? This shit was done over years. Or, you know, David wasn't sculpted in, you know, yo, I did that in a day. Like, there's no time on art. So when I'm doing a verse, it takes me a long time to do the verse. And as far as doing the verse, I'm speaking from a lifetime of experiences. So it took a lifetime to write that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I wanted them to know, like, yo, this is personal. This is personal when I'm giving you, this is blood I'm giving you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not spitting this shit. This is blood. So I need them to know that, to appreciate it, that if you don't hear a lot from me, it's because I'm pulling from a lot from me and I'm actually expending a lot of energy to give you these songs. So I just want you to appreciate it. So I feel that if they knew that, they would appreciate it more.
A simple right and left can mean life or death. Epic fail or nice success. Days of pleasure or nights of stress. Live with a bird, bitch, or be homeless. Walk with a dirty fifth or be homeless. Add on an info, miss my opponent. One ads or shipping bricks to the bonus. Stay sober or sip it up. Keep that rhyme or rip it up. Be a good nigga or risk the cuffs. Constantly doubt or consistent trust. Run through the holes or settle down. Conform to what's on or keep my ghetto sound. Hustle here or pick a better town. Keep it on safety or let it pound. A simple right and left can mean life or death. Epic fail or nice success. Days of pleasure or nights of stress.
Blood is two things. It's, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the manly thing? Like, am I doing it as a grown-up man, making that decision? And also another thing is, will my moms be pleased with my decision? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the two things that got me in the decisions, like the hard decisions in life. Like, you know, I feel like I've disappointed my moms in certain times in my life by decisions that I made. So now I don't want to do that no more. I'm a grown up now. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be proud of me at the end of all. You know what I'm saying? I want to be proud of me at the end of all. Like, so, you know, I think of it like this. Like, you know, at the end of my life, if we get to see a movie of your life at the end of your life, I want to be proud of my movie. You know what I'm saying? I want to look at my movie and be like, I see that progression. Like, yeah, he has some rough patches, but at the end, you know, it was, he did the right things. So that's how, when I go through something rough, I'm like, will I be proud of this move that I make? You know, and I kind of, you know, hopefully it's guided me enough to keep me here right now. So I've been doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that got me with when I have a rough decision.
It's the children. Bring the balance in the hood. So let's not make them age faster than they should. It's the children. Bring the balance in the hood. So let's not make them age faster.
It's funny that you say that, man, because like I grew up, you know, in the park, man. I had a basketball. I would walk to the basketball court with my dribbling my ball, you know what I'm saying? Taking my sister to school or day camp, I dribbling my ball there. Like, yo, the parks is empty nowadays, man. It's crazy. Like, you know, I'm like, where these kids hooping at, you know, like, or where the street games? Like, you know, like the song that I did on Iron, like, Children, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are all the games that I don't really see kids doing no more. Like, the video game era got them just in the crib playing video games. And I don't see them in the street playing Coco Levy or Hide and Go Seek or Skelly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was on the block, I was on Decatur Street, like one of the blocks I used to live on. And I'm like, the kids, one is on one side of the street, they're on the other side of the street. I was like, yo, man, y'all know how to play Skelly? You know what I'm saying? I drew up a Skelly court, had some bottle caps, taught them how to play Skelly. Like, these things is like just fun. And I think, you know, that we losing these things that help us socially become social with each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just talking through a headphone, just talking about, yo, you know, watch the right or watch the left playing these video games, is learn how to be social and learn how to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some of the best friends I had came about shooting joints with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kids don't do that nowadays. So, you know, they missing out a lot, but I guess it's safer for them. I guess, you know, we'll see.
Like, it's a little trick to this shit. I know what it's like, hungry, thirsty. I know what it's like, grungy, dusty. I know what it's like, yo. Trust me, yo. I know what it's like.
Fam, what it is I had a lot of dark times with the music, man. You know, I thought my time had passed, and, you know, to have from no listeners to one listener is a world apart. You know what I'm saying? And that should always keep me where I'll appreciate my one listener. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it's like to have to write songs and albums and no one care. Like, you know what I'm saying? That should affect you as a person that's trying to, like, yo, I want somebody to appreciate this shit, or I need people to understand that I'm in here honing something and I'm doing this something for the betterment of the art, and when no one cares, that shit is rough. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I will always be content with being, yo, if it stops now, I had a moment in time where people was like, yo, they wanted to speak to me about the art, or, you know, they hitting me like, yo, hitting me with emails like, yo, I appreciate what you do. Like, that shit make me feel good. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't do 25 years of writing in vain. You know what I mean? So people heard and hear, still listening, discovering the art that I created, you know, and they love it. And that shit there's no greater gift than that. You know what I mean? Listen, money is beautiful, you know, fame is beautiful. There's no greater gift than appreciation for something that, this is what I do the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? This is the gift that I was given, and I wanna respect it. You know what I'm saying? For the art that I love the most out of anything in this world. Like, yo, I would never be like, yo, I ain't on the radio. The fuck was on the radio? You know, somebody love me right now. There's a kid somewhere in Australia that is bumping my shit, talking about Kai is ill. That is enough for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Grief Pedigree. Yo, this shit gonna be live, man? Yeah, it better be.
All right, man. That's just a glimpse of the video. Let me bring it back. A-Level, can you hear me, brother? Let me make sure I put your mic on. So yeah, man, for those tuning in, that was you know, some clips from the interview I did with Kai back in 2012. He dropped a lot of jewels in that video. You know, watching that video after all these years and learning of him passing on is just, it makes that video even more emotional, right? You know, like, he said a lot of things in there that helps you to understand his character, right? And his, you know, and what he believed, and just a opportunity to speak with him. You know, You can definitely check that full interview out on Out the Box TV here on YouTube if you haven't checked it out. But I know a lot of Ka fans have probably already checked it out, you know. But I wanted to take the time to reshare that in this video. And just talk a little bit about what it took to even get that interview. You know, that interview was supposed to actually happen. Well, before I do that, did you want to say something in response to the
No,
video?
I see the reason why you guys got along as friends, you know, why y'all were such kindred spirits, because y'all were more or less like the same kind of person in y'all approach to y'all creativity and what it is that you guys do and the dedication. Like he said, like whether somebody's checking for it or not, at least I got one. You know, and that really stuck with me. And he's like, you know, it's true. I mean, I'm not here for the popularity. I'm not here for the, you know, the radio songs and stuff like that. You know, I'm here to make an impact in somebody's life. And if it's somewhere and some kid in Australia likes my stuff, then, you know, I've accomplished what I set out to do. You know, so I could definitely see, you know, that similarity right there and how you guys got along so well. You know.
Indeed, I appreciate you recognizing that, man. I'm gonna put up a few people have made comments. So I'm gonna put them up on the screen. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Paul Brown. Shout out to 7 Figures. Dope. Rest up, Ka. Indeed. And I got another person that just commented too. Antoine. Yeah, man. He says, peace out the box for real hip hop. Huge subscriber. We lost a great MC in independent hip hop. Couldn't believe Ka passed. Ka is my favorite MC. To me, he paint pictures like Rock Marcy, Billy Woods, Rakim. Word up, word up, word up. Shout out to the mom of the Lawrence. Sleep in peace. Yeah, man. Thank you for the comments, man. For those who, you know, is checking this out, man. It means a lot, man. You know, Ka touched a lot of people, man. Like, and just to give context to that interview, it took place in 2012, but it was actually supposed to happen. So it happened in June of 2012. And before I did the show today, I wanted to, like, you know, take a look back to see when it actually happened. It took place in June, but it was actually supposed to happen in May. And initially, I was working with Ka's publicist at the time to get the interview. And we were supposed to have an interview in front of Grand Army Plaza in Brooklyn, that big library in Brooklyn. And I was running late and we had to reschedule it. And then Ka had something to do. So we had to reschedule it. So it got rescheduled from like late May to like mid-June. So just to give context, that's when the interview happened. And I mean, I first heard about Ka through Rock Marcy on the Marsburg album. You know, he had a track on there. And I don't know, like maybe about a year or so after, or a few years after, I found out about Ironworks. I think, I don't know, maybe it was somebody talking about it online. And I went looking up his album. This would be like his first like solo debut album, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Ironworks. And I heard that album and I was just like blown away by the music, you know, like it was just straight lyrics. And he was touching on things that was dealing with the pain of coming up in the hood, but he was saying things that me growing up in Brooklyn, it was like some of the lingo and some of the things he was saying like resonated with me from my experience growing up in Brooklyn. So I immediately connected because what he was saying was relatable. Like some of the things he was saying, some of the lingo and the words he was using was things that I would hear growing up in Brooklyn, you know, in my youth, you know what I'm saying, as a teenager. So I resonated there, but then also like the rich wordplay and the relatable lyrics and just the relatability to coming up in the ghetto and dealing with pain. All of those things resonate, you know what I'm saying? And when I think about Ka, he is one of the few artists that was able to achieve two things. And I think he did this simultaneously. He was able to be extremely lyrical, but also connect with you emotionally. You don't see that happen a lot in hip hop. You know, those artists that are like really, really like lyrical and they have a lot going with their wordplay and stuff, they're not able often to translate emotionally. They're not able to be as relatable. It's kind of like how Tupac has, you know, he's known for having that emotional impact. Like you could you know, you could be going through something tough and you could put on Tupac and it could be relatable, it could be inspiring. And that Ka did that, but he also at the same time was really like lyrically gifted. Like he would have the double entendres, he would have the wordplay, he'd say like the cool things that like, oh man, did you catch that line, did you catch that bar? He would do all of that, but at the same time he's somebody that you could listen to if you're going through a hard time and feel like, you know, this man, you know, his story is relatable or it's inspiring to you. So that's what was really special about him. And I really don't know much artists. It's probably very difficult for me to even name someone else that did both. And that's why, you know, I was thinking the other day, like, you know, what made him such a favorite MC of mine? Like, I said it a number of times. I said it to him years ago at one of his pop-up shops. I said, at that time, Doom was alive. You know, I told him my top 3 favorite MCs was MF Doom 1, he was 2nd, and Elzai 3rd. And even though I had named Doom as 1, he was like still like super appreciative. He was like, nah, I can respect that. Cause you know, he liked Doom, you know, from what I gathered as well. You know what I'm saying? So he was humble like that, you know what I'm saying? And just mad like appreciative, as you can see in the interview, you know, with some of the stuff he said, you know.
Wow. Wow.
So I got so much to say, man. Like I don't know if I'll be able to cover it in this particular show. But
I'm just taking it all in, man. You know.
Yeah, I wanted to do this show because it's
not to interrupt you. Can you share that story that you shared with me when you were online? You know, with the album signing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get to that. Yeah. So let me start with this first. And for folks out there tuning in, I really appreciate you checking this out, man. This is a special show for me, man. I've never done a show like this. We did a Doom tribute show, but this one, Doom was my favorite MC of all time. But when Ka passed away, it hit home even harder because, like I said, I knew Ka to a degree, right? But let me start with this, and I'll share that story, A-Level. And shout out to .com Intelligence. He said, one of the best ever. Rest in power, Kaseem Ryan. His pen is unmatched. Yes, it is, man. It is. So let me share this. Let me do this 1 second. I had a number of experiences with Ka. One of the first times I realized, like in the flesh, that Ka was a unique person. Like he was extremely unique and honorable and just a good-hearted, generous person. I can't remember what album it was, but he would do these album signings. And if you're a Ka fan, you know about this, right? He would do these album signings in New York every time he dropped an album. It was one of his earlier albums. And I always looked forward to these album signings because a lot of times he would drop the music and you could only get it within that first weekend that he dropped if you got it from him directly, right? So I would look forward to it. And one of the times I went, well, let me go that. One of the first times I went out there. This was after I did the interview with him. And in front of me, he told all of the other, not all of the other fans, but a few of the other fans that came out to buy his music, he told them to go check out the Box TV.
Wow.
And he encouraged them in front of me to say, hey, this brother's stuff is dope. You need to check out this, and this interview. So not only did he give me the recognition in person, but he also looked at a lot of my other interviews as well. And he was able to tell other people in front of me to go check. Like he promoted me pretty much. It supported me by letting other people know, yo, go check this brother out. That was one of the first times I was like, man, this brother is dope, man. Like I don't meet artists like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you don't. You really don't.
And some of the people that he told that to, I was able to build, you know, not a lot of them, but a few of them, I was able to build relationships with over time online and stuff. So like that was one of the first things he did that was like, wow, like that's so honorable. And so I was so appreciative of. There was another time where, like I said, he had dropped the album and I really needed to go get that album, you know what I'm saying, as a fan, right? But I had my son at the time, my younger son. He probably was like, I don't know, 3 years old or something. He was in a stroller. And I had to, you know, my queen at the time, my wife at the time, she was somewhere else, you know, so it was just me and my son, so my younger son. So I had to get on the train with the stroller, go down the stairs, you know, when you got a stroller, I ain't got no ride, so I'm getting on the train. I get on the train with the stroller, and I go down to like Soho, because he used to do the album signings in the pop-up shops. It used to be in front of like Tower Records back then. So if you've been going, you know what I'm talking about. But so I get there and I got my son in the stroller and I walk up to him and he's happy to see me and I give him a dap. And I think he was selling the CD for like $10 or $15. I'm not sure, but I think I had $20, right? And I said, here, keep the change, right? Like I wanted to give him the extra money. I kid you not. As I'm giving him the money, he does this like this clever dap back, and he gives me the extra change back, like the extra $5 or whatever. I think I had like 10 in the 5 or 10 in the 10. And he gives me the bonus money I was gonna give him. And I just wanted to give it because I like his music so much. I wanted to give him that extra money. This man gives me the money back. Like, nah, wow. Keep that. That was another moment where I was like, wow. Like, I've never had an artist that I give extra money to give me the extra money back. Kai did that. I've never told that story to the public. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like it was fitting to share that so that you guys know, like, based on what you already know about Kai being a very honorable and respectful person and just generous person, like it solidifies that, right? That's further confirmation because I experienced that with him. And that's not the last of it, man. There have been other experiences, man, where for those out there that don't know, I did an album, my own album back in 2020. Or made it released in 2021. It's called my debut album, right? Where I'm rapping and I did all my own beats and stuff. It's called Growth and Balance, right? That's my debut album. I believe I dropped it in 2021 or 2020. I think it's 2021 though. Forgive me for not remembering the year. But when I dropped the album, you know, I put it out there, promoted it and stuff. And something told me I wanted Kai to hear it, right? So I sent Kai an email with the album to listen to. I wasn't sure that he would respond back or even listen to the music, right? I wasn't sure, right? But I was hoping, right? he actually responded back. And not only did he give me props for, for doing the album, but for also being, kind enough to share it with him. And he listened to the album fully and gave me props for the music and how he really liked the music. And, let me see if I could give you some context, because I don't want, let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, he said, thank you for sharing the music with him. He was listening, and it was honestly amazing, to hear. It's amazing, honestly, he said, brother. And he spoke about how the music is true, and that's really important to him at this point. And that's what's really important to him at this point, right? Like he resonated with how true the music was. And he even picked a few songs off the album that he thought was his favorites. So this man listened to the full album, picked songs that he thought it was his favorites, and highlighted what he liked about the songs. It was just a genuine response, man. And that was another experience where I was like, damn, like one of my favorite MCs listened to my music, right? And not only took the time to listen to it, but had kind words and positive words to share about the music, So as I'm telling these stories, you can see that as years went on, the relationship that I started to build with him. And like I said, I don't claim to have like the greatest, deepest relationship with Ka, but these little instances of interactions just made my connection to him a lot more special. He was probably the closest artist that I was connected to of his stature. Like, because he's like very well renowned now, you know what I'm saying? Even before he passed, a lot of people knew him all over the world. So, yeah, man, that was another experience where I was like, wow, man. And I told him, I said, thank you so much. Like that, that means everything for me. The fact that you took the time to listen and share feedback and encourage me, he encouraged me, you know what I'm saying? And the other instance which you were alluding to, A Level, was the one that is the one that really like had such a amazing impact on me. For those that might not be aware, he did a pop-up shop last year, October, not the one that he just did in late September. He did one last October, and like I said, I would go to his pop-up shops almost every year, right? During the time of the pandemic, I feel like there was a few years where he didn't do pop-up shops because of the pandemic. A lot of us were indoors, right? But he finally did another one last year, October. And when I got there, my wife was with me. We got on the line, and I was surprised. The line was literally around the block. Now, I've been going to Ka's pop-up shops and album signings for years. I never seen the line around the block. You could usually just go up and see him, talk to him. This is the first time I saw the line around the block. This was in, I think it was like Lower East Side Manhattan, right? So I'm on the line and I'm like, wow, I'm just smiling because I'm like, yo, my brother made it. Like, he's like, dudes is around the line, you know what I'm saying? Around the block. So I'm standing on the line, and I want to take a moment to shout out my brother Steven, who was a brother that I actually met on that line. And me and my wife, we ended up having a good communication with him, and there's a few other people that was on the line as well. And Ka is in the front of the store, and he's doing signing. So every time you get to the front of the line, you get to meet him, you get to take a picture with him, you get to do album signing, he signs the album, whatever, and you get to buy merch and stuff, right? So I'm like in the middle of the line. I'm like nowhere near the beginning of the line yet. And he comes down to like the middle of the line, right? As he's coming down to the middle of the line, I am not expecting this. And but he's coming down to the middle of the line and he recognizes me. And he says in front of everybody that's on this long line, "Yo, what's up? I'm so glad you came." You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, "I'm so glad you came, man. I knew I was gonna. I was hoping I would see you. I'm so glad you came."
Wow.
And he pulls me to him. He said, "Give me a hug." He gives me a hug.
Wow.
Embraces me. No artist has ever done that for me, for me. Ka does that in front of everybody else, And my brother Steven that I met that day, he knows he was there. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I didn't even know how to respond, bro. I was just so like honored. You know what I'm saying? My wife was right there. He even told my wife in front of me, he was like, "This is a good brother." Like I said, no artist has ever done this for me. So I know my experience is personal, but I'm sharing it to show how much of a good person this brother was and how impactful and inspiring he was to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he saw value in me. You know what I'm saying? And he highlighted that in person. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the experience that just took it over the top. Like no one's ever done that to me as an artist. No one's ever. You know what I'm saying? And when he did that, man, like my love for him just went to a whole other level. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
In front of all his other fans. And I mean, I'm not saying that he probably did that, did that to other people as well, embrace other people, because he had that spirit, right? When you hear other people tell stories of their interaction with him, it was that same generous spirit. But for me to experience that, it definitely touched my heart in a very special way, in a positive way. So yeah, man, that's some of my experiences with Ka, man, and the fact that he valued me and he wasn't afraid to tell it. He's like, he told it to me. He told it to my wife. You know what I'm saying? In front of me. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Steven, man. He a brother that I met on the line. When I heard about Ka transitioning, I started thinking about my last time seeing him and some of the people that I met. And Steven was one of the folks that there's another brother I met too. His name is escaping me right now, but Steven was another brother that I met that I sent him a message and just to check in with him and just let him know like how I value being able to meet him that day. Steven's another good brother. So I was it was dope, man, because that was another thing Ka did. He might not have been aware directly, but at these signings, album signings, we got to meet other people, you know what I'm saying, that like-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? And when I think about it, there weren't a lot of people that did. Like, who does pop-up shops? Who does signings as an independent artist? You know what I'm saying? Doing it on your own, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And I got a chance to meet his wife, Mimi, that day. So, again, sincere condolences to Ka's family, sincere condolences to you, Mimi, and his other family members, man. But yeah, that happened last October. And that experience was, man, it was just amazing to experience, and holds a special place in my heart, in terms of my interaction with Ka.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna tip on out of here, but
Word.
I just have one more thing to share with y'all when it comes to Ka and what I've been impacted by and it's going to be a verse straight out of Tested Testimony, probably one of my favorite tracks of the year. Tested Testimony, and it's the second verse, and it says, "Thoughts that mustard like a mustard seed, 100, the best among you struggle with lust and greed. Agreed, when you give much, much is received. If it ain't living life in crisis, I don't trust your need. Did a lot of mourning, friends ain't make it overnight. I'm too stressed, no food left. It's hard to know what's right. Sends from attempts to cut us down. We grew out of spite, passed it to our last report. Sure we might. For me, it ain't just where I'm at, it's where I'm from. Grew old, still uphold some things since I was young. Every fellow plan from the ghetto on how it's rung. Put moms first, cause earth can't live without a dying son. Can't afford to have one wasted or fall through, cause if one make it, we all do. Can't afford to have one wasted or fall through, cause if one make it, we all do." And that's from the great legend, the rapper Kai. If y'all don't have it right now, go out and get his last offering. You know, the thief next to Jesus, y'all.
Yes.
This is A-Level the Wiz. I am out the box. I love you guys. And love you too, Cril. You know, hold your head, bro. You know, we
Thank
here.
you, brother. And I appreciate you for again, you know, doing this show with me. I'm gonna definitely stay on for a little bit longer because I have some more, you know, that I want to talk about in the show. But thank you again, A-Level, and I appreciate you, you know, giving that quotable or you know that verse from Kai, man. For those that are familiar with Kai's body of work, you know, there's like endless lyrics, you know what I mean? Just lyrics upon lyrics that's quotables that you could resonate with, that you could just sit and just be like, wow, just be amazed by his lyrical abilities and his talent as a writer, because he was really a dope writer.
You're right.
Uh,
Thank you for sharing, man, sharing your experience. You know, this is definitely something that's fed my spirit a lot. And I got my work to do. I got my work cut out for me. And I'm excited to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, he left so much music that you can sit with and digest and get to listen to for the just, you know, for the lyrics, the wordplay, the double entendres, but also for the deeper meaning of the music, right? The emotion behind the music. That's one of the things that makes me feel grateful, right? Even though I've been in a period of sadness, I'm grateful and thankful that he left so much dope music to listen to for years and years, you know. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, thank you for tuning in, man. I'm gonna stay on the line. I'm gonna stay on the show for a little bit longer. To all the folks that's tuning in, I appreciate you. Shout out to Mark, shout out to Anton Austin, shout out to Paul Brown.
Shout out to all the out the boxians out there. You know what I'm saying?
Mama DeLorean, 7 figures.
Shout out to Paul Brown. Shout out to
Sacred Soul Italian Jam,
Will,
all of the people, yeah.
The Funk Doctor. Peace.
All right, my brother. So A-Level gonna break out, and I'm gonna keep it going. So yeah, I thank y'all, man, for, you know, staying with me. You know, this show is a unique one. You know, I usually don't do a lot of shows where it's a tribute to someone who passed away, an artist that passed away. But this one definitely, I needed to do this one. So I want to, you know, A-Level spoke about some of Kai's lyrics, right? And I wanted to take some time to just highlight some of his music that really resonated with me. And for those out there that want to share some of the music that resonated with you, or some of your favorite tracks from him, you know, or even quotables, if you want to do that, you can definitely share it. I'll put it up in the comments. You know, I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, let's go into some of his music, because he had a vast catalog. Here's another thing, and I didn't say this yet, but Ka had a album signing in the end of September that just passed. Literally like the end of September. Unfortunately, I was not able to make that album signing, and it hurt to a degree that I didn't make it because I did not know. I would have never expected that that would be his last album signing, right? No one would have expected that pretty much, but I don't think anyone would have expected that. But because I didn't make that album signing, and shout out to everybody that did go. I know a lot of folks went and they got a chance to meet with him. And if you go to his Instagram page, you'll see some footage from that event. He had some pretty dope merch at that event too that I didn't get a chance to go and get. But I didn't make it. So what I did was I sent him an email about a week after that, and pretty much letting him know, I'm sorry I couldn't make the thing, the album signing. I would have loved to make it, but other priorities came up at the time, so I couldn't make it. Which I'm really sad right now that I didn't, right? Because if I knew, I would have found ways to change things, right? But that happened, right? So, but anyway, I sent him an email letting him know, sorry I couldn't make it, but I also wanted to give him some feedback on the new album, A Thief Next to Jesus, The Thief Next to Jesus. So I had done, as I said earlier, I had done a review video. I did a lyric breakdown, lyric explanation video on Such Devotion, his single from the album. And I also did a album review video, very recently. So I wanted to share those two videos with him to, just so he could see it. So I sent him the email with that. And I also, because I missed the album signing, he had this thing at the album signing where he made a post letting people know that he wanted people to pick to rank his albums, right? In like your favorite order from from 1 to like 11, right? So what I did was because I didn't get a chance to make it, I wanted him to still see, what I ranked as my favorite albums of his. And I put that in the email, put the link to the video, the review video of the album, and also put the link to the lyric breakdown of Such Devotion. So I sent it to him. This was before, he passed away. But I didn't hear back from him, right? So I don't know if he saw the email or not. But I did send him an email, and again, like, it was really disappointing that I didn't get a chance to go to the album signing, but I don't feel too sad because I got a chance to meet him a number of times, and I was able to tell him a number of times that he was one of my favorite MCs, right? A number of times. And if you look at my old posts on Out the Box Media, you will see I always recognize Kai as one of my favorite MCs. In fact, after Doom passed away, I would say Kai is now while Kai was alive, after Doom passed away, I would say Kai is my favorite MC alive because, he was always, it was Doomed and him, you know what I mean? So you got to understand, man, like, this hurts so much because my two favorite MCs of all time are no longer here. Like, these are my favorite MCs of all time. A lot of people will pick other artists, right? Like, I'm fans of KRS, Nas, Jay-Z, all of these other artists, but Doom and Kyle was above them. Those were my favorite MCs of all time. You know what I'm saying? And still are. And that's why this thing hurts, man. I felt like, man, like, what is hip hop doing to me? You taking my favorite MCs, my top, my best. So if there's anyone out there that can feel that, that feel that pain, you know what I'm saying? Like, I identify with you, and like I said, it's gonna feel you know, every year I look forward to a new Kai album. You know, almost every year I look forward to going to see him in person. You know what I'm saying? Or sending him an email and getting a response back. Um, you know, and I'm mad. I'm mad honored that he did the interview with me because he didn't really do a lot of interviews. You know, so at the time when I got a chance to interview him, like in hindsight, like I'm mad humbled and honored that he was gracious enough to grant me an interview. You know what I mean? So I just have I have more things to be grateful about than to be sad about, to be honest, even though it does hurt processing his transition, you know. Thank you, Antoine. I appreciate that. .com Intelligence gave let me share that. He said Sirens in day 13 made this grown man tear up, man. Yo, man, you keeping it real there, man. Like that's from days with Dr. Yenlo. Like that album is deep. You know what I mean? Like that's one of my favorites. You know, him and Preservation did the Days with Dr. Yenlo album, man. That's one of my favorites. So I appreciate you sharing that .com Intelligence. I'm gonna share a few of my favorites as well too. Like, let's go down his discography a bit. So he dropped Ironworks in 2011, and a few of my favorites. So I'm gonna give you the album names because like there's dope tracks on every album, right? Like that's what's so dope about Kai. Like he always had like no album was whack. Every album had a level of dopeness and uniqueness that you could just be like, wow, I'm just appreciative to get this music. So Ironworks came out in 2011. I would consider it as like his first official solo debut album. Even though he had works with I know he had a project with Nightbreed, which is a group he was in before, and he also was a part of the Natural Elements crew for a time as well. But Ironworks to me really set it off in terms of his solo career and solo albums. And my favorite tracks on there was Mr. Officer, I Know What It's Like, Children, and Bully. So those are my joints. But it, you know, it could change. You know, some days, you know, it'd be other tracks, you know. But from what I was resonating with, you know, going back and listening to, those are my favorites. Let me share. So shout out to Chef Shadow Fi. Said his favorite Kai lyric is "You know your mission if you ever fed a child." From the song Enough Praise / Recovering. He said it reminds him of James Baldwin. Yeah, that's a dope one as well. What album was that from again? I forget the name of the album that Enough Praise Recovering. I know the track and I was just looking at it. But yeah, man, Kai had a lot of, I mean, like endless lyrics, you know, lyrics on top of lyrics, man. That like I'd be listening to his music and you know, I'll be listening to an album that I might have listened to like 10 times already. And then on the 11th listen, I find something that I didn't catch. That's how dope his music was, you know, like you might not catch everything right away, you know. Yeah, okay, so it's from A Martyr's Reward. Yep, I was thinking it might have been from that album. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Chef Shadow. Yeah, Chef Shadow 5. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, man. So Ironworks, Grief Pedigree, that came out in 2012. I feel like Grief Pedigree was the album that made me feel like Kai was really starting to get into his own unique groove, right? Like you're getting to hear his signature sound and you know that the deepness in the lyrics and stuff. Like so Grief Pedigree did it for me. Like songs like Chamber, Decisions, Every, Iron Age featuring Rock Marcy, Vessel, Born King. Those are my joints, you know what I mean? The Knight's Gambit, which came out in 2013. My favorite joints on there is like Jungle, Bearing the Likeness, Nothing Is, 30 Pieces of Silver, I'm Ready, Off the Record. Like just some dope records out there, man. So if you've never gotten a chance to listen to some of those albums, you could probably, if you want to go and check out some of those songs first, you can. But you know, listen to the full album because you might resonate deeply with something else. You know. Let me share Antoine albums I want to get on CD, like Dr. Yenlo and Preservation, Orpheus Vs The Sirens, Descendants of Cain, and Honor Kill the Samurai. That's my focus on physical media. Yeah, man, I would love to you know, I don't know if, you know, in his transitioning, if we're gonna be able to get like physical copies of his album. I guess for the fans that would be pretty dope. But prior, you know, as of recent, you know, he, you know, in the past few years, you would only be able to get his physical albums if you came out to the album signings or the pop-up shops in New York. But you know, maybe in the future we'll, you know, for fans, we'll hopefully we'll get like physical media from him. But I have a lot of his physical albums as well. There's a few I don't have. But speaking about his albums, like his website is brownsvillecar.com. So, you know, you can definitely go to that website and purchase the albums as well, you know. And pretty much all of his projects are on that website, you know. Another project that I really love of him that you know, I don't think it's on any streaming platforms, but I believe you can get it on his website, is the Ka and Preservation 1200 BC EP. I remember, I think that was when he was like, you could order the CDs from him. I ordered that. And that is one of my favorite projects from Ka. That 1200 BC with Preservation. So before they dropped Days with Dr. Yenlo, they dropped, I think it was like 5 tracks. The 1200 BC EP. That EP is amazing. When I would listen to Ka's music, like that album, when I listened to that EP, when I think that EP solidified it for me. That was the one that made me say, yo, this dude is like one of my favorites ever. Because you ever listen to like music by artists and it hits you so emotionally that you're like, whew, whew. That was my response. Hearing that album and a lot of his music, he would just have some tracks that I'm just like, damn, that shit hit. Like that, whew, that's deep. Like it hit you, it hit the soul. That's what that project did for me, man. That 1200 BC EP. If you want to know what I'm talking about, check out Still Here, that track. Check out The Hull and Back, right? Check out Years. The way he does the hook on Years, he says, it's been years and years and years and years. It took him years and years and years. Just listen to how he's reciting that. And you could feel the pain. You could feel the struggle. It's man, I don't even know if I'm doing it justice by explaining how deeply it resonates with your soul and just the emotion that he put in the music. .com intelligence. Let me put up you said, I own the night. The heat's my receipt. When I heard that from Grief Pedigree, he said his mind flipped. Word, man, for real. He had those lines, man. He had those lines that you hit it, you just hear it and you like, yo, what did I just hear? That was so dope. You know, I own the night. The heat's my receipt. He had so much lyrics that was dope like that, man. Word up. Thanks for tuning in, Mateo. Yeah, man. Put up the doves, you know, rest in peace. Yeah, man. So much lyrics, man. I thank y'all for sharing this show with me, man, because I could see I got a lot of like-minded folks on this platform. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and sharing y'all favorite lyrics and y'all experience with Ka's music, man. That's dope. I'm gonna share a few of my favorite lyrics too, but I wanna, you know, highlight some of my favorite you know, the albums as well. So I said Khan Preservation 1200 BC EP that came out in 2014. If you have not checked that out, go check that out. I believe it's on his website, brownsvillecod.com. So you can purchase it from the website. And you can purchase his other music as well from the website as well. You know, get it directly from his website, you know. Again, it's brownsvillecod.com is the website. So then we have Days with Dr. Yenlo, which again is Ka with DJ Preservation on the production. That was an amazing project. That's one of my favorite albums by him too. That and 1200 BC. Day 811, day 1125, day 777, day 110, day 22, day 70, day 912. All of those are like my favorite tracks by him off that album, man. That was another album where I was like, yeah, man. It's like every year, like his music would just get even doper. You know what I'm saying? And he took it to a whole other level with Days with Dr. Yenlo and Preservation. So shout out to Preservation for collaborating with Kyle on that, as well as the 1200 BC EP. Then we have Honor. He released Honor Kill the Samurai in 2016. That was one of his acclaimed albums. I hear a lot of people talking about, like, you know, that was the album that really connected with them. You know what I'm saying? Or that was the album that they first, you know, got wind of his music. So that's one of his staples, the Honor Kill the Samurai album. My favorite joints on there is Conflicted, Just, More in the Night, and then a few other tracks on there as well. Also Money is my joint. The $sign track. Woo! He says, time spent getting bent had to be upright citizen. He says that on More in the Night. And then on Money, let me see. I got a line. I had to write it down so I remembered the lyrics. What did he say on Money, man? That's one of my favorite joints by him, man. If happen to make cash, won't let the cash make me. I need money, not for trivial material. It's to fix our flaws. The whole cause is ethereal. What you mining for? If unaware, share with blind and poor. You telling stories that's celebratory in times of war. With bars of greed, I plead how many cars you need. When fathers bleed to fill ribs of kids that hardly read. Man. Word, Paul. Justice is definitely an incredible record, man. Yeah, man. So that was a line that like that whole record, Money, is dope, man. Like that's a dope record, man. Then Orpheus Versus the Sirens, that came out in 2018. That is actually one of my top favorite albums from him. There's so many tracks on there I love, and that was the album that he did with Animals, right? You know, they went by the name The Hermit and the Recluse. And my favorite joints on there are Sirens, Atlas, and I know somebody mentioned Sirens earlier, I believe. Sirens, Atlas, Argo, Golden Fleece, Oedipus. He did the video, I believe, for Oedipus, and that's, man, woo, such a dope record. Yeah, man, like Orpheus Versus the Sirens, again, he took it up another notch with that album. So that was one of my favorites. Let me see if I got a line from Oedipus. In an Oedipus song, he says, this is at the end of the song. He says, you'll find enough time, they just rhyme. I rhyme for a reason. I admit they got some hits. That's why I'm here, bobbing and weaving. I'm ill prepared. Yo, when I heard that, like, it was like Kai in that line, Kai was saying pretty much, yo, I know dudes out there got hit records and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got hit records, but I got some joints too. You know what I'm saying? I'm ill prepared. I got hits too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my rhymes might not be like pop hits. My joint is like hits that's lyrically top notch. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's one of my favorite lines from him, and that's from Oedipus. And the video is out there. You can check that out. Day 777. That's from the Days with Dr. Yenlo. I'm gonna recite a line from there that really was dope too. He says, listen what you pitching. Listen what you pitching, son. Got them sick and dumb. Cease all them jewels in your teeth if you ain't spitting none. I carve a lane, do it for the starving brain. Mine Stella, my wine cellar, put your bars to shame. Yo, when he said that, I was like, yo, that's a clever series of line, man. Kai did that, man. Yeah, man. My wine cellar, put your bars to shame. Rawness, man. Then Descendants of Cain. Let me do that. Let me go back to, I don't want to jump ahead too much. But then, yeah, Descendants of Cain. I'm on the right track. Descendants of Cain came out in 2020. Some of my favorite tracks on there is Every Now and Then, Patron Saints, My Brother's Keeper, Solitude of Enoch, I Love, Mimi Mom's Kev, Sins of the Father, and Old Justice. Man, Descendants of Cain is another one of my favorites. He has a lot of dope records on there. I love Mimi as a emotional. I love parentheses Mimi, Mom's Kev. That's a very emotional track, man. You know, with Learning of Ka passing on, if you listen to that track, it just hits deeply emotionally. So you know, definitely check that out if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out. Patron Saints is one of my favorites too. I think he has a line from Patron Saints that I really like where he says, our peacekeepers, what does he say? Our yogis did stretches up straight. As much as our yogis did stretches up upstate. As much as I healed, I had to deal with my scars. As much as I healed, I had to deal that my skin. Let me say it again. As much as I heal, I had to deal that my scars are here to stay. Our sensei spent days peddling. Our hero sold heroin. And he ends that song like that. I don't know if I'm doing it justice by reciting some of these lyrics, but I tried to, like, you know, jot down a few of the lines that I thought was like really dope. But there's so much, man. So definitely do yourself a favor and go check out some of this music. So yeah, Descendants of Cain, that came out in 2020. Then Woeful Studies came out. No, A Martyr's Reward came out in 2021. And some of my favorite tracks on there is I Need All That, Sad to Say, I Notice, and Having Nothing. And then we had Woeful Studies that came out in 2022. It actually kind of released as like a double album. So he released Woeful Studies and he also released Language Arts at the same time. A lot of dope tracks on that as well. We Hurtin' is one of my favorites from Woeful Studies. Reap, Count It Out, The Block, My Only Home. And then from Language Arts, my favorite tracks, Full Cobra, Forgive Me, It's Not If Not True, Still Holding, and Last Place. And then recently, you know, in August of this year, he released The Thief Next to Jesus. And my favorite tracks on there are Bread, Wine, Bloody Blood, Tested Testimony, Broken Rose Window, Lord Have Mercy, Such Devotion, Cross You Bear, and Him and I. Yeah, man. So that's his discography, man. In terms of his solo releases, such a dope catalog, man. And let me see if I got some more lines I could share from him as well. I think I wrote some more stuff down. Solitude of Enoch, he says, funny used to call my friends money. I lost hundreds. On Old Justice, he has one of the lines that stands out on there where he says, letting shit pass, that's how you get your ass handed. So dope, man. Yeah, man. So, like I said, that's just a few of the lines that I thought was really dope. He says on I Need All That, he says, some slung bars to become stars. I did it to stop starving. That's from I Need All That. Yeah, man. Lots of quotables from Ka, man. If you wanna like get like a explanation breakdown, you could check out my video that I put up on my YouTube channel, Out the Box Media, where I broke down like the full song Such Devotion, which is from the Thief Next to Jesus album. So you could check that out. But he just has so much music that you could just sit and listen to and decipher and, you know, break down and just be amazed by, you know. Yeah, man. Shout out to Antoine. Listen to new album after this, The Thief Next to Jesus. Yeah, man, go run it up, man. Go check that album out. Axiom says Ka had a legendary run. He definitely did, man. He definitely did. Yeah, man. Yo, man. So yeah, I want to see if I have anything else to share. I think that's the gist of what I wanted to share today. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say that yeah, but I think that was the gist. I want to do a mix in tribute to Ka. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to do a music mix with a lot of the tracks that I really like from him, and I'm gonna continue to big up his name, continue to represent for him, you know, and promote his music the way I did it when he was alive, even in his afterlife. So, you know, we're gonna keep that man's legacy alive, man. He was special, man. He, you know, hip hop was blessed to have an MC like him. And I also want to recognize, I didn't say it earlier, but you know, with all the talk about how dope of a person he was, you know, as a man, you know, for those that don't know, but I think many already know that Ka was a firefighter, you know, a New York City firefighter. And he not only you know, was, you know, inspiring and saving lives in his music. This man was saving lives literally as a firefighter, you know. He was a first responder, you know, in the September 11 attacks, you know. So salute to my brother Ka for your service as a firefighter, you know, and all you did just as a man, you know what I'm saying? So super salute and respect and gratitude for you for that. And also for the awesome, amazing music that you left us with. You will always be a brother to me, man. And I just cherish the relationship I got to have with you while you were here. And I'm gonna keep, you know, bigging up your name and letting folks know how dope you were, man, and saluting you, man. I respect you and I honor your legacy, brother. You know, so rest in peace to the brother Kaseem Ryan, also known as Brownsville Ka. Yeah, Paul, let me share that. Paul said, as an MC, Ka made you feel what he was saying. It wasn't just it just wasn't informative or entertaining, but compelling. He was a true artist. I 100% agree, man. 100% agree with that, man. It's compelling, man. Like I was saying earlier with A Level, like his music touched you emotionally, but he also had those layers of an excellent writer, right? He hit all areas. Dope writer, dope with the wordplay, dope with the lyrics, dope with the bars, dope with the double entendres, but also exceptionally dope with being able to share the emotion and get you to feel the pain in his music, you know. you know. And I got a chance to look at his interview with Red Bull, and I saw you. I'm sure most of his fans saw that too. That's a very, very, very insightful interview. I learned things about Ka that I didn't know in that interview as well. So you could check that out if you haven't. That's also on YouTube. Ka's Red Bull TV interview. You know, he spoke about his upbringing, him growing up, and you know, some of the challenges he had to go through, and you know, you get a real sense of understanding his journey and what made him such a honorable person, you know, such a respectful person. So you get to see that in the interview I did with him, but you also get to see it in that Red Bull interview. And there's other interviews out there that he's done. He hasn't done a lot of interviews, but the interviews that he did do, I encourage you to go check him out on YouTube because he shares some really insightful thoughts on, you know, what made him who he is today, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Axiom. His catalog will have a cult following in the future for true students of lyricism. I totally agree with that, man. Yeah, man. I'm excited to see how his legacy unfolds. I know it's only gonna grow. And he's only gonna gain more fans and more supporters and more people that are amazed by his music. I'm really grateful to see the love that he's been getting since him passing on. I'm just smiling, you know, because you know, as you can see in the interview that I did with him, he talks about like just being grateful if just one person or if a few people heard his music, you know, and look at look at it now, man. Like when I went to that pop-up shop in last October last year to see people along the line. I mean, people came from all over to see him, you know. That's when I was like, man, my brother made it. Like he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he accomplished, man, what a lot weren't able to accomplish, and still haven't been able to accomplish. And what's so special is that he did it without having to chase fame or sell out or compromise. He kept it 100% real and kept his direct relationship with the people. Like, I mean, he went out with a amazing album signing like a couple weeks before he transitioned. Like, what a way to go out. Like, you know, so he went out knowing that the love was there and he was able to feel that love from the people. And I'm so happy that he was able to experience that, you know. So again, it's sad that he transitioned and it was very sudden, but I'm grateful to be able to get this amazing body of music from him. And we're gonna keep, you know, giving you know, raising up, you know, his legacy in music and what he stood for, man. So yeah, man, that's about it, man. Yeah, that Purple Tape Pedigree interview. Yeah, I saw that interview as well. That's not a long interview, but he gives some really dope insight to his journey, you know, and how he, you know, goes about making music there as well, you know. You know, shout out to Rock Marciano and, you know, Preservation and Navy Blue and you know, Animals and a lot of the people that he, you know, was close with, that he did music with, Chuck Strangers. These were people that he did music with, man. He didn't do a lot of features, you know, but he did collaborate with those folks, you know. Yeah, if Kai and Billy Woods did a song together. Yeah, I don't know if they ever did a song together, but that would be amazing to see, you know, if they did a song together. Yeah, man, but I want to thank y'all for tuning in. If anyone else wants to share anything on the show, feel free to leave a comment. It was really dope being able to do this show. In a way, doing this show was a release for me. Like, I didn't really want to do another video until I did this tribute show. I just felt like it was right. And I hope I did it justice, man. You know, Kai, I just wanted to honor this brother, man, who was very special to me, you know. So yeah, man, thank you to everyone that has tuned in. Be on the lookout for more, more stuff from Out the Box Media. Go check out my website, outtheboxmedia.com. I have a blog that's running every pretty much every day or every other day. I update the blog with new music. So if you're looking to be updated with new independent hip hop and soul, creative and conscious hip hop, definitely, subscribe to the website, outtheboxmedia.com. And unless I had this screen up all this time. Yes, subscribe to the website, outtheboxmedia.com, to stay updated. And look out for more videos. Also, like I said, I plan to do a tribute mix with music for Ka. So, look out for a post about that as well. But yeah. Yeah, man. Respect Gray Fortune. He said he's the only artist I came across that never wasted a single word. Yo, that is so true, man. Like, cause you could listen. That's so dope, man, that you said that, Graylin Fortune. You're right, man. Like, that's how dope his music was. Like I said, you could listen to an album 10 times and then go back on the 11th listen and catch something that you didn't catch. So yeah, I could definitely agree with that. Yeah, thank you, Antoine, man. Appreciate that, and do appreciate that. Ah, man. Yeah, man. There's so much more I feel like I could say about Ka, but I don't, in terms of like the positive impact he's had. I know I'm missing a few things, but I don't want to be too long-winded on this show today. But yeah, man, I thank y'all for tuning in. Staying tuned. I don't know if we'll get new music from Ka in the future, posthumous music. I don't know what the plans is with that, but even if we don't, I'm appreciative of what we got, and just the music he's already given, and just being able to interact with him in real life, man. So yeah, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, subscribe to the channel. I am streaming this on Out the Box TV, but I'm also streaming it on Out the Box Media, both on YouTube. Most of my shows will take place on Out the Box Media channel on YouTube, but I wanted to stream this on Out the Box TV because more people are familiar with the Out the Box TV channel because it's been around so long. But definitely subscribe to the Out the Box Media channel because I do a lot of my reviews there, and a lot more of my new videos are going to be there. And again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Much respect for everybody that joined the show, whether you viewed the show or you left a comment. I really, really appreciate you. And I will catch y'all on the next video, man. Again, rest in peace to my brother, Brownsville Ka. Sincere condolences to his family and loved ones, man. I appreciate his music and everything he stood for, in terms of being an artist and just his kind, generous spirit. May your legacy live on, brother. May you rest in peace, and may the benevolent ancestors receive you with open arms. Thank you, my brother Ka. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and I value you for what you contributed to the music and just what you contributed as a man to this world. Thank you again. I will see you guys on the next episode. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Till next one, I want to say peace, love, and light. I'm out of here. Take it easy.